Hola. Buenos días. Mi nombre es Chloe Emily. Good morning. My name is Chloe Emily. My pronouns are she, they, and I serve gratefully as your communications coordinator and as a Sunday religious exploration guide for our children. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno, California. Welcome to everyone on our virtual church campus, and welcome to everyone here on our Alluvial Avenue church campus, as well as welcome to everyone who might be watching this service later on. Our monthly worship theme for September is belonging, and today we will explore living with within the tension between our belonging and the longing for belonging, and our pull to independence. We acknowledge that our Alluvial Avenue campus sits within the traditional homelands of the Yokut people, the past, present, and future stewards of this land. As Unitarian Universalists, we welcome you, no matter your race, culture of origin, age, spiritual background, or religious belief. We welcome you no matter your disabilities, the amount of money in your bank account, your level of education, or your neurodiversity. We welcome you if you are lesbian, gay, bi, trans, non-binary, or gender fluid. You are welcome, with or without documentation. All are welcome here. Todos son bienvenidos aquí. If you are on our virtual campus, we want to make sure everyone can share your joy, sorrow, gratitude, or concern. If you feel called to share this morning, just type those now in the chat box, and we'll write them down and give them to Tim so he can include them later on in the service. If you don't type your personal joy, concern, gratitude, or sorrow now, we won't have time to include them. May we, in the chat box or in person, or in the silence of your heart, take a moment to say buenos dias and greet one another.
So to everybody on our virtual campus, they're very rowdy on Alluvial Ave this morning. Welcome, everybody. Mi nombre es Timoteo. My name is Tim, and I serve gratefully as minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno. My pronouns are he, him, his. Let's let the sound of the tingsha carry us to that quiet, that knowing place within that place that longs to belong.
this table, everyone is welcome. At this table, everyone is seen. At this table, everybody matters. No one falls between. At this table, you can say whatever. At this table, you can speak your mind. At this table, everything's forgiven. There's enough for everyone. So come as you are. Remember that the door is always open. Yes, come as you are. The perfect gift that you can bring is your heart. So come as you are. At this table, there will be no judgment. At this table, mercy has a seat. At this table, we're all sons and daughters. There's no place I'd rather be. So come as you are. Remember that the door is always open. Come as you are. The perfect gift that you can bring is your heart. So come as you are. Come as you are. At this table, everyone is welcome. At this table, everybody cares. At this table, everybody matters. So come, pull up a chair.
Good morning. Buenos dias. Welcome to my home, or more specifically, to my front porch. My name is Tina Botts, and I am a member of the Worship Arts team. It's really wonderful that we have two church campuses, our online church campus and our Alluvial Avenue church campus. We are one congregation in many places. For those online, I invite you to bring a candle or chalice close, as we will be lighting it in just a moment. The chalice and flame mean to me the holding and the warmth that the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno have offered to me since I began attending the church 6 years ago. I first felt this sense of being held and kept warm when Patty Bennett reached out to me as a newcomer and shared with me some of the many activities and avenues for participation that the church offers. It's great to realize that all across the country and even around the world, there are other Unitarian Universalist congregations offering that warmth and belonging to so many others who find in our faith a spiritual home. It is for all of this that we kindle the flame of our chalice. Tim, are you ready to light our chalice on our Alluvial Avenue campus?
You know what, Tina? I am ready.
I invite those in our online campus to join you in lighting the chalice in the sanctuary of your home or your heart. Let us now rise, children and adults, and join in singing, "Oh, we give thanks."
Oh, we give thanks
Oh, we give
for
thanks
this precious day,
for this precious day,
for all gathered here,
for all gathered here,
for those far away,
and those far away,
for this time we share,
for this time we share,
with love and care,
with love and care.
Oh, we give thanks
Oh, we give thanks
for this precious day,
for this precious day.
Oh, we give thanks
Oh, we give thanks
for this precious day,
for this precious day,
for all gathered here,
for all gathered here,
and those far
and
away,
those far away,
for this time we share,
for this time we share,
with love and care,
with love and care.
Oh, we give thanks
Oh, we give thanks
for this precious day.
for this precious day.
Oh, we give thanks
Oh, we give thanks
for this precious day.
for this precious day.
For all gathered
For
here,
all gathered here,
those far
and
away.
those far away,
For this time we share,
for this time we
with
share,
love and care.
with love and
Oh,
care.
we give thanks
Oh, we give
for
thanks
this precious day.
for this precious day.
I invite us to remain standing on this precious day as we share together the words of our mission statement. La misión de la Iglesia Unitaria Universalista de Fresno es amar inclusivamente, crecer espiritualmente, servir con gratitud y trabajar por la justicia. The mission of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno is to love inclusively, grow spiritually, serve gratefully, and work for justice. Please be seated. And Karen, I believe that you have a body prayer for us today.
There we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Karen Polnitz. Mi nombre es Karen Polnitz. Mi pronombre es ella. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And I serve gratefully as your director of lifelong learning. And I have this morning a wonderful opportunity to invite any children, youth, or children at heart who are comfortable being on camera as we are live streaming to join me here on the chancel for a movement prayer or a movement meditation, and also just a little bit of conversation. So do I have any kids here with me today? I spy with my little eye
Come on up. This is where the fun
some
is.
friends who are around. Hi. So to start with, would you have a seat right here? Just wherever is comfortable. But let's start by having a short seat. Lovely, lovely. Watch out for the fire. Beautiful. Thank you. So today, we are exploring the idea of belonging. And I'm wondering if anyone has any ideas about what belonging means, or if you want to share something that you think about when you hear that word belonging. Anyone have any ideas, or about the idea of the word belong? To belong? Yeah, what do you think, Josh?
Be a part.
To be a part? Yeah, what else?
You live there.
It could be somewhere that you live, absolutely. Any other thoughts about belonging? Yeah, there's lots of different meanings of the word belonging, right? And today what we're kind of talking about is places where we feel a sense of belonging. And that might mean like someone shared a home or somewhere that you're a part of. Yeah, what do you think, Emily?
That you belong on the earth.
Oh, I love that you belong on the earth. That's a beautiful place that we all belong, right? So for me, when I think of a sense of belonging, I think of a place where I feel safe, where I feel good, where I feel like I'm a part of the place. And that makes me feel good inside. What do you feel? Or are there any places where let's start with that. Are there any places where you feel like, yes, I feel good and safe here. I feel loved. And that gives me a sense of belonging. Where do you think, Emily?
On the earth.
On the earth. I love that. Anywhere else? Yeah, what about you, Luca?
In your house.
In your house? Yeah, definitely. I hope you feel a sense of belonging at your house. Yeah, anywhere else? I saw from a child at heart in the audience that was pointing here. Yeah, I feel a sense of belonging here at church, at the UU church. What about you?
In your garden.
Ooh, I bet a lot of people feel a sense of belonging in their garden. That's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, what does Chloe feel?
At Disneyland.
That's a fun one. So what kind of feelings does it give us when we feel like, oh, I belong here, I'm safe, I'm loved? How does that make you feel, Isaiah?
Love.
Love? What else? You want to share
It makes
something?
me feel peaceful.
It makes Tim feel peaceful. And that is something that we're going to explore a little bit more with our moving meditation or moving prayer. Because when we feel peaceful, we can share the peace with others, bringing peace all around and giving others a sense that they belong here or wherever we are, or just on the earth too. So now I'm going to invite you to stand, and I'm going to teach you some movements. Again, if you want to come over this way.
All grown-ups as well.
And someone's cringing at how I move that microphone. So this goes a little bit like this. We're going to go, peace be with me, peace before me, peace to the right of me. You're going to do your right to the right. Peace behind me, and swoop it behind you. Peace to the left of me, that's this one. Peace above me. And then reach down and touch your toes. Peace below me. Peace within. Oh, that was so beautiful. Now we're going to do it all together with Hannah Faye on vocals. And then we're going to switch it up a little bit and talk about giving peace to you and peace for all of us.
Peace be with me, peace before me, peace to the right of me, peace behind me, peace to the left of me, peace above me, peace below me, peace within, peace be with you. Before you, peace to the right of you, peace behind you, peace to the left of you, peace above you, peace below you, peace within, peace be with us, peace before us, peace to the right of us, peace behind us, peace to the left of us, peace above us, peace below us, peace within, peace within.
invite us to take a nice deep breath in together. And as we let that breath out, the adults sit back down and we sing our kids off to spirit explorations.
Follow Hannah. She goes right down the
We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life. We hold you in our love as you go. We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life. We hold you in our love as you go.
Keeping with that theme of peace, I invite us to take a nice deep breath in, imagining that we are breathing in peace. We hold the moment, we breathe out love. And again, a nice centering breath, breathing in peace. We hold the moment, we breathe out love. One more time together, breathing in peace. We hold the moment. We breathe out love. We continue breathing together in this sacred sanctuary where both virtually and on Alluvial Ave we create one congregation in many places. And just notice on this morning how your breath wants to be. Just notice it. Is it deep and full? Is it a little tight and anxious? Is that breath a little frightened or joyful? Just acknowledge the breath and the emotion that is within your body, within you at this moment. And as we breathe, we allow that breath to carry us back over the last week, the last 7 days of our living. And two questions. Where in the last week did you experience a moment that felt peaceful or nurturing? And the second question for the week ahead, where could you plant a seed of peace in the week ahead? Each of us on this Sunday morning entered this space with a mix of experiences and emotions of the last week. Some of us joyful, some of us concerned, some of us grieving and sorrowful, some of us just feeling grateful that we woke up. Some of us stopped at the small table at the entranceway to the sanctuary on Alluvial Ave. Others of us typed our joy, sorrow, concern, or gratitude into the chat box on our virtual campus. And this is just a little bit of what is alive within us and among us. Chris is feeling joyful and welcome back to the church. Friend member visiting from Pennsylvania. Chris is visiting from Pennsylvania. We have a joy from Christina that this heat wave is over and that most folks are okay. Yeah, when 96 is no longer a heat wave, you know you're in Fresno. Vicky is feeling joyful. She returns to work tomorrow after 10 months. Vicky, our blessings and thoughts go with you. Jean is feeling gratitude. Thank you for opening the church for the memorial service for my dear friend Kathy yesterday. We're glad that so many were able to gather here to celebrate her long and beautiful life. We have a concern, also from Christina, a concern for Mrs. Anna R. of Fresno, and hopeful that she recovers. We also have a celebration. Tomorrow, a certain young guy is going to celebrate his 93rd birthday. Saul, could you stand up on Alluvial Ave? And let's sing to Saul. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Saul.
Happy birthday to you.
May we all be so blessed. And I know Sam Z is sitting on our virtual campus going, I'm 99, Saul, you're still a youngin'. We also want to acknowledge the citizens of Iran as they rise up and demand freedom and respect. And our thoughts, our good wishes, and our prayers are with them. We also think of the people of Puerto Rico as they reel from yet another hurricane, and we hold the good folks in Cuba as well as those in Florida who are preparing for Hurricane Ian. We also remember our beloveds, those dear ones who are unable to be with us because of health or mobility issues. We think of Margaret H., Bev F., as she continues to grow stronger in the Bay Area after coming down with West Nile virus, Denise S., Edith H., William H., Glenda R., Pat M., Josephine J. And let me just also say that we have some folks here who have not been in the sanctuary for some time, and so we welcome you back. We welcome you back into our Alluvial Avenue campus. This week marked the end of summer and the arrival of the autumnal equinox. This is a sacred time for those of us who practice earth-based and pagan spirituality. Blessings upon all. We also continue celebrating Hispanic Latinx Heritage Month. And we acknowledge that within your precious beating heart, you hold silent joys, sorrows, concerns, and gratitudes. And so this morning we light this candle, not just for what has been shared, but for all that is alive within this spiritual community. We light a second candle, as is our custom. This burns for the 6.54 million citizens of the world who have lost their lives in this pandemic. We acknowledge that 1.05 million of those were citizens of this country. Our call to meditation are some of my favorite words that can be spoken or sung. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. We'll be singing, chanting, praying these words 3 times. The first time, imagine a mirror, and you're just looking at yourself. And instead of the usual self-talk that I know at least some of us usually say when we look at ourselves in the mirror, we're going to say these words to ourselves. Second time, someone you know and love who on this day needs blessings, love, and light. And then the third time, for this vast interconnected web of all existence on planet Earth, to the soul of the whole, as the great Ralph Waldo Emerson would say. How could anyone?
I never tell you you were anything soul.
Now sing it to someone who on this day needs love and light.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
And now to the soul of the whole.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
This evening at sundown begins the two-day celebration of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. The biblical name for this celebration is Yom Teruah, or the day of shouting or blasting. Daily in the month leading up to this evening, and then tonight, the sound of the shofar is sounded or blasted in synagogues around the world. The sound of the shofar recalls the great Jewish prophets and their blasting call to build a just world, offer mercy to the most vulnerable, and walk humbly with your God. With great respect for the Jewish tradition, Lorenzo invites us into this ancient ritual, followed by a time of shared silence. These words for Yom Kippur come from Donna Faulds. I breathe in all that is. Awareness expanding to take everything in, as if my heart beats the world into being. From the unnamed vastness beneath my mind, I breathe my way to wholeness and healing. Each breath a yes and a letting go, a journey and a coming home.
Growing up, belonging was a feeling I had only with my family of origin. I was raised to believe that blood ties were the only true ties, and that there really were no other ties of significance. But what were the implications of this point of view? I began to think about in my adult life. First and foremost, I think, was the idea that there was no stronger bond than between family members, and that there really is no one you can trust like family members. But there were downsides to this message, including that no one else but your blood could be trusted. That left out a lot of people. Another downside was that it left out the significance to one's sense of belonging, of things like shared understanding, shared experiences, and natural affinity based on mutual values, interests, trust, and respect. In other words, if one's ties to others were things you were born with, these ties could neither be created nor destroyed. This implied a certain permission to be on less than your best behavior with your family members, with those with whom you belong. The implied upside was that those with whom you belonged would always have your back no matter what. Loyalty was built into the sort of naturalness of belonging. However, life tells us that loyalty is not built into the idea that belonging is tied to blood. We all know that family often fall out of grace with each other. With loyalty and belonging thrown out the window for years at a time or even a lifetime. My life experience in particular taught me that family often become alienated from one another and sometimes use the idea of belonging based on blood to try to exploit or even control the actions of others. All of this seemed to me to be the opposite of true belonging. As I continued to explore the world on my own, I came to understand that I often felt much more of a sense of belonging among those with whom trust, understanding, and respect were built over time than among those who were in my life because there were blood ties. As my life took different turns, my sense that belonging was built rather than inherited grew stronger. I also noticed that my sense of belonging among others strengthened the more I learned to belong to myself. A strange paradox. But it makes perfect sense if you think about it. I cannot become a we if I am not complete in and of myself. I cannot add to a group. I cannot belong to a group if there is no me to add, if there is no me for others to belong to in return. We all teach our children to be themselves, and then everything will work out for them. And there is so much wisdom in this teaching. The moment our children learn to stand in their own bodies and their own sense of who they are, the more they attract the kind of people who will become their tribe. Instead of trying to be what others want them to be, and never finding peace in that, they should instead shine their own lights. And then those who are in harmony with that light will naturally gravitate to them. I have certainly found this to be true. As I shed any notion that I have to be a certain way or act a certain way or believe certain things in order to belong somewhere where I think I want to belong, and instead focus on being as true to who I really am as I possibly can be, all sorts of wonderful people have entered into my experience and stayed there. The most fun about that experience is that I know they are there because they want to be, and not because they have to be. And being with others because you want to be, and because they want to be too, is belonging in its truest sense.
Thank you so much, Tina, for that personal reflection. I now invite us to add our voices to the mix. Let's rise, embody our spirit, and join in singing, "We Shall Be Known."
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change, a light from deep within the earth. It is time now, it is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change, a light from deep within the earth. It is time now, it is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
Please be seated. I feel like a perpetual outsider. So says my friend Maria Cristina, who gave me permission to share her experience. Maria Cristina continues, as a little kid, I was the only one in the house who didn't speak Spanish because my grandmother refused to teach it to me because she wanted me to grow up to be a real American, not a Mexican American. What a loss of my beautiful culture. Maria Cristina continues, once we moved out of the barrio, I was the only Latina in my elementary school. I was so clearly not white, but I didn't feel like anyone taught me how to be a Latina. I felt like a perpetual outsider. Walking home from church on Sunday, I was the only one who questioned what the pastor preached from the pulpit. That didn't go over well. Maria Cristina continues, in high school, it felt like I was the only queer kid in the classroom, although I know now that couldn't be true. In my after-school job, I was the only teenager who dreamed of college. At college, I felt like I was the only one without friends because I was new to Fresno, but I had no time to make friends, always working my 3 jobs and studying the rest of the time, just trying to get through. Maria Cristina pauses, then sighs. Now, 12 years later, and with a family of my own, I feel like I'm the only one in my Fresno neighborhood who doesn't go to a megachurch, and the only one who actually cares about climate change. I've always felt like a perpetual outsider, always on the outside looking in at those who have found a way to belong. But I'm not going to give up who I am in order to find a way to belong. Starhawk, the celebrated theorist of feminist neo-paganism and ecofeminism, writes, "We are all longing to go home to some place we have never been, a place half remembered and half envisioned we can only catch glimpses of from time to time. Community, community, community. Somewhere there are people whom we can speak with passion without having the words catch in our throats. Somewhere a circle of hands will open to receive us. Eyes will light up as we enter. Voices will celebrate with us whenever we come into our own power. Community. Community means strength that joins our strength to do the work that needs to be done. Arms to hold us when we falter. A circle of healing. A circle of friends. Some place where we can be free. Unitarian Universalists and those who are exploring Unitarian Universalism for the first time often live in a tension between the pool of belonging and the pool of independence. We've lived long enough outside the religious norm to be a bit distrustful of anything that feels like organized religion, and we prize our own originality, our free thinking, and we aren't going to compromise our individual authentic self. But we also have some part of us that doesn't want to do the spiritual and personal path on our own. We crave more than just ourselves. We crave a place and a people where we can be free and belong. A place and a people that looks at us, that sees us, that says to us in the words of Libby Roderick, "How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected. How deeply you're connected to my soul." Brené Brown writes, "Belonging is the innate human desire to be part of something larger than us." Would you be willing to say that with me? Belonging is the innate human desire to be part of something larger than us. Belonging is the innate human desire to be part of something that is larger and longer than us. The long process known as evolution transformed this desire for connection into an essential part of what it means to actually be human. As quoted in the blog The Marginalian, neuroscientist Matthew D. Lieberman, director of UCLA's Social Cognitive Neuroscience Lab, says that our desire to belong, our human need for connection, our sociality is woven into a series of bets that evolution has laid down again and again throughout mammalian history. These bets come in the form of adaptations that are selected because they promote survival and reproduction. These adaptations intensify the bonds we feel with those around us and increase our capacity to predict what is going on in the minds of others so that we can better coordinate and cooperate with them. The pain of social loss and the ways that an audience's laughter can influence us are no accidents. To the extent that we can characterize evolution as designing our modern brains, this is what our brains are wired for, reaching out to and interacting with others. Summer Allen, writing in the online Greater Good magazine, lifts up the social baseline theory of psychologists James Cone and David Sabara. Summer Allen summarizes that social baseline theory suggests that the human brain operates under the assumption that our interactions with others are a vital resource that helps us stay safe and meet our goals. She quotes Cone and Sabara. At its simplest, social baseline theory suggests that proximity to social resources decreases the cost of climbing both the literal and figurative hills we face, because the brain construes social resources as bioenergetic resources, much like oxygen or glucose. Summer concludes, this suggests that when we don't have access to social connections, we shift our cognitive and biological resources to focus more on ourselves, leading to distress, ill health, and limited achievement. When our lives are rich in social connection, however, we can move mountains. And indeed, we are happier, healthier, and more successful. When our lives are rich in social connection, we are happier, we are healthier, and more successful. I think that this is one reason so many of us struggled, really struggled, in the height of the pandemic. We were isolated, cocooned away from each other, cocooned away from connection. We lost the ties that bind. We lost the connections vital to being human. We lost the experience of belonging, and that creates anxiety, so much anxiety that so many of us are feeling every day today. It also creates the depression that so many of us are also wrestling with. I believe that this loss of connection is why so many of our previously vibrant elders faded away during that time, those first months and year of the pandemic. Those elders so used to connections, so vital, failed to thrive. And some of them passed into the mysteries of death. They died not of COVID, but of COVID-created connection deficit disorder. May they rest in peace and dance forever in our memories. If our brains are wired for connection, how do we find that sense of belonging? One thing that opens us up to the experience of belonging is allowing ourselves to actually be longing. Be longing, as in yearning for something. We must give ourselves permission to be in a state of longing. Writer David White defines the experience of longing in poetic language that takes my breath away because of its beauty and its evocativeness. David White writes, "Longing is the transfiguration of aloneness, the defenseless interior secret core of a person receiving its overdue invitation from the moon, the stars, the night horizon, and the great tidal flows of life and love. Longing is divine discontent, the unendurable presence finding a physical doorway to awe and discovery that frightens and emboldens, makes us into pilgrim souls, and sets us on some road that starts at the center of the body and then leads out like a comet's passing tail. Longing is felt. It's felt through the lens and even the ache of the body, magnifying and bringing the horizon close, as if the horizon were both a lifetime's journey away and living deep inside us at some unknown core, as if we were coming home into a beautifully familiar, condensed strangeness. To be longing is to make ourselves vulnerable. Vulnerable to life, vulnerable to each other, vulnerable to change, vulnerable to the unknown. What is it? What is it that you long for? Let's take a collective deep breath into that question. Let's just breathe in and breathe out. What is it that you long for? David White continues, longing has its own secret future destination and its own seasonal emergence from within, a ripening from the core, a seed growing in our bodies. It is as if we're put in relationship with an enormous distance inside us, leading back to some unknown origin with its own secret timing indifferent to our wills, and gifted at the same time with an intimate sense of proximity to a future, a transformation, a life we want for ourselves and to the beauty of the sky and the ground that surrounds us. David White concludes, longing is nothing without its dangerous edge that cuts and wounds us while setting us free and beckons us exactly because of the human need to invite the right kind of peril, the foundational instinct that we are here essentially to risk ourselves in the world, that we are a form of invitation to others, that we are meant to hazard ourselves for the right thing or for a gift given against all the odds. In longing, we move and are moving from a known but abstracted elsewhere to a beautiful, about to be reached someone, something, or somewhere we want to call our own. My dear ones, may we give ourselves permission to be longing. But out of that longing, may we also create a place where others can belong. And if you are longing to belong here in this place. Know that we are a people, a church community that says to you, in the words of Reverend Gretchen Haley, Bienvenido a casa. Welcome home. For this one moment, know only that you are loved, that you are safe and whole and loved here among us, here upon this earth in your body. However tired or broken your heart may be, you are not alone. No está solo. We are not alone. Que así sea, bendito sea. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall, no one would hear? Well, let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you just reach out your hand. And oh, someone will come running, and I know they'll take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around, you will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. Out of the shadows, the morning is breaking. All is new, all is new. It's filling up the empty. Suddenly I see that all is new, all is new. You are not alone. 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 Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around, you will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found.
Hi, this is Tina Botts again, a member of the church's worship arts team. Brené Brown says, true belonging is the spiritual practice of believing in and belonging to yourself so deeply that you can share your most authentic self with the world and find sacredness in both being a part of something and standing alone in the wilderness. True belonging doesn't require you to change who you are. It requires you to be who you are. From the moment I first stepped into the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno, members invited me in as my whole self and provided me with a space to be who I really am. This is one of the reasons I support the church financially and also by serving gratefully as a worship associate and vocalist. These are ways I show my gratitude for being welcomed into a space where I can definitely be my authentic self. In this spirit, please join me in our words of offering. If not us, then who? If not open hearts, then what? If not now, then when? If not here, then where? If not generously, then how? If not us, then who? If you are on our virtual campus, perhaps this is a moment when you make your first contribution, and thank you for that. Or perhaps you are already a pledging member or friend, but this morning you want to give a little extra help for when unexpected need arises that hasn't been budgeted for. Thank you for that. We also have baskets at the side doors for those who exit the Alluvial Avenue sanctuary. No matter which campus you are on, you are invited to use your smartphone and make a contribution through Cash App at $UU Fresno. That's $UU Fresno. May this church continue to be worthy of the many forms of your gifts. I can't express how appreciative I am for being able to be with the congregation this morning and what it personally means to me to continue to be connected as a church community, virtually and in person. I certainly feel that I belong here in this community of seekers centered in love. As we prepare to end our service and enter into our afternoon, please join us in our chalice extinguishing words, led by Karen and Troy.
Extinguimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts.
Goodbye for now. We'll see you next week. Tim, I know you have some reminders for everyone.
In fact, I do, Tina, and let's just give a round of applause for Tina joining us from our virtual campus. Making her way towards the chancel as we speak is Patty Bennett, our Member Services Coordinator. If you are new or newish to the congregation, Patty is your go-to person to get you connected so you can move from a place that you simply attend to a place where you can belong. One of the easiest ways to do that will be to meet Patty right here at the flower arrangement at the end of the service, mere moments away. And Patty will be giving a short tour of the church campus and then be available for question and answer and conversation. Exiting the sanctuary, we do want to allow our socially distanced folks first to head out the door. I'll be out there in the receiving line, and then we invite the rest of you to pass on through those exit doors. Happening besides Patty's world-famous short tour of the campus is coffee hour outside for conversation. And I'm going to invite all of you who are longer-term members, before you get in a conversation with somebody you already know, say hi to someone you don't know, and maybe try a conversation with them. There's some wonderful folks who have been coming to campus looking for a place to belong, and your welcome helps them do that. Also, we have the board question and answer table outside where you can hang out with a member of our board of trustees, and when you get to the board of trustees, you know every answer in the universe, so they will be there to answer them all. Also, in the sanctuary here, with free food, is going to be a special event. Karen has a video to tell us about it on a virtual campus.
Hola, buenos días, queridos. I'm Karen Polnitz, Director of Lifelong Learning, here today with another invitation for an after-service exploration opportunity. Today, right after service in our Alluvial Avenue Sanctuary, we have a special guest. Author Charles Lewis Radke is here to share some passages from his book, Stuccoville, Life Without a Net, a memoir of his experience growing up in Fresno as a son of a single mother and some of the challenges that they faced. After the reading, he'll provide time for you to ask questions and have some discussion. There will be snacks provided, and we look forward to seeing you. For folks who are on the virtual campus, we have so many opportunities available on Zoom. I hope you'll check them out, and I hope to see you in a class sometime soon. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Hasta luego.
Thank you, Karen. Last but not least, we like to invite folks who are here with us for the first, second, or third time. We do that not to embarrass you. We're genuinely glad you chose to be here. So on our virtual campus, if you're willing to identify yourself in the chat box, this is the time to say hi. Here on Alluvial Ave, if this is your first, second, or third time, we invite you to rise for just a moment. We won't leave you standing by yourself for long. Anybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Great. Welcome, welcome. I love it. Welcome. I invite the rest of the congregation to rise with them for our closing words and then our sung benediction. If you came in a pod, feel free to join hands. If you came on your own, please place your hands over your precious beating heart. These closing words come from Reverend Gretchen Haley. For this one moment, know only that you are loved, that you are safe and whole and loved. Here among us, here upon the earth, in your body, however tired or broken your heart may be, you are not alone. We are not alone. Blessed be. Amen.
May we have safe passage, safe passage. May we have safe passage, safe passage on our way, safe passage on your way, wander, safe passage on your way, such a safe passage on your way, sweet pilgrim, safe passage on our way. May we have safe passage, safe passage. May we have safe passage on our way.
Shalom and assalamu alaikum.